Right, and we are live. Hey everybody, I'm Stuart, and this is MLM for CEOs, the channel that is aimed at providing key insights to company owners operating within this lucrative multi-level marketing space. MLM for CEOs is a channel that is brought to you by our sponsors, NetReady. Thank you very much for providing us with a space and a platform in which to create this content. In this episode, we're going to be speaking about multi-level marketing, being a belly-to-belly business, and how powerful it is to have that one-on-one or that group interaction. Here to unpack that information a little bit more is a good friend and mentor of mine, a man with over 35 years experience within this industry. His name is Richard Sletcher. How's it going?
Nice to see you again. Yeah.
The Richard Sletcher?
I know, it's pretty impressive, eh?
Wow.
Was that a question? Richard Sletcher?
Is it you?
Is it? Are you an imposter?
How's it going?
Yeah, good. No problems.
Good. Enjoying a
Nice
good
to
week?
be back. Yeah. I'm loving it, eh?
Yeah. Good. I mean, this time of year is amazing. I mean, right now, if you're watching this episode in the future, we're coming into summer, and we live in Cape Town, in South Africa, and it is just spectacular.
It is absolutely incredible. I've traveled all over the world. I'm in 40, 50 countries around the world, and I've yet to find anywhere as absolutely beautiful as Cape Town. There are beautiful places all over the world, and I've seen some incredibly beautiful places. But there's something special about the city, you know. We were sitting at the gardens on the weekend, and the mountain folds around the gardens, and it's incredible.
That's just beautiful.
Kirstenbosch Gardens, yeah.
Yes, yeah. So if there's any company owners out there wanting to come visit us,
Yeah,
well,
absolutely.
we can be tour guides.
We'll take you around.
Okay, so Richard, this is quite an important one for you and I. I mean, this is how we know this industry to be a belly-to-belly industry.
Yeah.
It is Stu interacting with Richard, and that is the most powerful way for anyone to grow a relationship, sell a product, do whatever. What has happened over the past couple of years that has changed the landscape of network marketing, of multi-level marketing, or direct selling? There has been quite a dramatic shift, and it's because of that of COVID.
The pandemic really just had a huge impact on in-person anything, obviously. You know, we were all locked down. We were all squirreled away in our houses, hibernating.
Yeah.
And it was almost 2 years, eh? It was a long time. And so we lost track of how important and how powerful this whole direct contact is. Right. Everybody got online. Zoom became a thing. Everybody wants to work from home. Nobody comes into the office. All of those things had a massive impact on how people interact with each other. But I'm seeing a big swing back to in-person interactions. And in our industry, there honestly is no better method of selling your products and recruiting people than doing it direct, person to person.
Sure. We're going to get into that. But what I want to speak about is how that landscape has shifted so much that and what resources people are utilizing now to connect, and what negative effects is that actually having on this industry. I listened to a comedian the other day who said that I'd connected with when the pandemic hits, we're jumping on Zoom. I was connecting with people I hadn't spoken to for 15 years back. That's just what happened. You could very easily access anyone across the world.
Yeah, that's true.
Any point in time because you had the time. A lot of people were laid off their jobs. A lot of salaries were subsidized. A lot of it was a harsh environment for people, and a lot of people then rushed into network marketing as
it exploded
as a savior. And we saw it. We saw it in our own business.
Yeah.
You know, because people found it. They could.
I mean, you can even see it in the numbers of people who subscribe to our channel.
Right.
During the pandemic, that just went through the roof.
Yeah.
You know, we started. I started this channel at the beginning of the pandemic. Started really doing the videos, and it's just amazing how that's grown. I think we have about 10,000 company owners who subscribe to our channel now.
Yeah.
Which is, that's substantial in terms of the profile of the people who are subscribed.
Right. No, for sure. What negative effects does that have on the industry? I mean,
it's the interpersonal stuff.
Okay.
You know, I'll give you an example. My son, Ryan, just had their second baby.
Yes.
This little baby fits into my hands, you know, it's tiny.
Yeah.
Now, it doesn't matter how many times I check that baby out on Zoom. Nothing beat going up to Neisner, where he stays, and actually taking that little baby in my arms and kissing its forehead and stroking its cheek. And she's beautiful beyond words and breathtaking. Nothing beats that personal contact. Being on Zoom doesn't even come close. And we lose so much in our interaction on Zoom because you lose the nuances, you lose the body language. There's so much that you lose in the digital environment. Now, I'm not saying do away with the digital. Obviously, it's a tool, and it's a good tool, and you can use it, and it can work for you. But there is genuinely nothing can compare to connecting with a person in person, to getting to them. We call it belly to belly, but getting to in front of them, with them, have a cup of coffee with them. The guys say, people don't have the time for coffee. That's rubbish. People have the time.
Yeah.
You've just got to give them a wonderful reason to want to share their time with you.
For sure.
And if you can do that and you can create that in-person connection, your chances of them staying in the business much higher. What we've noticed that with the new, let's call it the Zoom culture, the churn rate in multi-level marketing has gone through the roof.
Yeah.
Because you get in online and you can get off online and there's no accountability and there's nobody helping you, there's nobody working with you, there's nobody training you. It's all happening in the cloud. And if you want to ditch it, you just ditch it. Whereas if you're working with somebody, you build up a sense of camaraderie. You build up a sense of reciprocity. I'm coming out with you. I'm doing the presentation with you. So when I set up the next connection, you feel obliged to do it with me. And I help you to succeed. Again, it builds up that personal, interpersonal link, which is it's irreplaceable. You can't replace it by an online experience.
Sure. I think we mentioned this in one of our previous episodes, that what typically happens within networks is that a key leader will move to another company and bring their whole network across. But if you form that belly to belly, that strong personal relationship from a physical interaction, it's going to be very difficult for that leader or that network to be convinced that they need to go somewhere else, because they have that feeling of reciprocity, that feeling of loyalty to the company owner or someone else within the network. Or your network.
You're just your team leader, the person who's helping you.
You can't do that on Zoom.
No, you can't.
It's very difficult.
And if you have a look at the most stable MLM companies in the world, the most stable companies like your Avons and your Tupperwares and that, it's all about people. You actually go as a member of the network and you go into somebody's home and you take your products and you have a tea party with them and you display the products and people buy from you and you create camaraderie and you have a chat. And those businesses are super stable. Their turnover is rock solid.
Yeah.
You have a look at these businesses that go up and down. It's this fad on the internet and it goes crazy for a while and it peaks and then it just disappears as quickly as it rose. And it's because where's the interpersonal connection there?
Right.
There's very little loyalty to that brand. There's very little loyalty to the people in it. And social side of the business is so important. 20% of your people are just driven by the social side.
Yeah. There's obviously great benefits through Zoom or WhatsApp, being able to connect with people all over the world at one point in time.
Absolutely.
But again, if you're doing training or educating or presenting the business, it works and it works well. Most of my net-ready clients are using it. But even though that is a great solution, having the people in a room, engaging, feeling the energy and the vibe from each other.
Exactly.
People need people.
Yes. 100%.
That is the absolute industry that we're in.
And you look at some of the really strong relationships you've got with your clients, and I bet you a high percentage of those people you've met in person.
Yeah, I have.
You've actually met with them. You've sat across the table with them. You've had a cup of coffee. You've taken them out to lunch. You've created some sort of relationship with them that is personal.
Yeah.
And, you can see the person's, how their eyes move or how they move their head or their body. You can see if they're leaning in or leaning back. You can actually read so much in that relationship when you're actually meeting with somebody in person.
Yeah, it is so, this whole people-to-people concept, I did a speech a number of years back, and that was my theme, a number of years back before I got into this industry. And I understood the importance, not only within the network marketing space, but also just within life, having your husband and wife relationship, having your sibling relationship, having whatever it is, it is so important to work on that relationship, but it has to be seeing each other, in the flesh, belly to belly,
and regularly.
Yeah,
regularly. And so now that sort of the pandemic is behind us, more or less.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everybody's opened up. We just went overseas a little while ago, and there was no masks anywhere wherever we went, except Germany, of course. Don't need a mask anywhere in the country. You're on the train going to Germany. As soon as you go over the border, you have to put your mask on straight away. Yeah, no, straight away. And you have to wear your mask. Otherwise, they put you off at the next station. You don't have a mask. Get off the train. And obviously, the nice thing about it is that the pandemic, COVID, doesn't hit you until you cross the border. At that point, it's like very huge problem. Yeah. As you go over the border, well, it's now time to. So, but the interesting thing is it's over. And so now there's an opportunity for you to actually start growing your business slowly and organically. And that is the other thing, that the digital environment allows you to use a shotgun approach at this. You can send out a shotgun approach. Boom, you sign up 50 people, you get them all onto the digital training. 10 of them do the training, 4 of them survive the training, 2 of them actually go out and make something happen, and you can just use the shotgun approach on everyone.
Yeah.
When you're doing it in person, you have to be more discerning because your time is valuable. And so that gives you the opportunity to say, okay, I really think that Stuart would be very good at this business. Let me take the time to work with him. Mm-hmm. Stuart, I think you'd be brilliant at what I'm doing. If I send you a link, would you take a look at it? And then let's get together and have coffee afterwards. When do you think you'd watch it? Yeah. Okay, so tomorrow. So we could get together for coffee on Thursday. Would that be okay? Where should we meet? Yeah. What time? Excellent, I'll be there. So you could actually then connect with the person in person, sit down with them, answer their questions, listen to them. But part of that is the time that you take to build up a relationship, and part of that is talking about the business, and part of that is setting up the next connection.
Sure.
And all of that in person, there's nothing more powerful. And then taking that person out so that they can see you in action in the field. Nothing more powerful.
Yeah.
And then being with them and doing it together, bouncing off each other, and then being there to watch them do it. And then saying, okay, I think you're ready to do it yourself. Would you like to have a crack at it by yourself? Let's set up an appointment. And then phoning them afterwards to say, hey, or getting together with them to do a post-mortem. So how did it go?
Yeah.
Laughing with them at their failures, laughing with them, not at them. Over their failures, and celebrating their successes, and whatever they're doing, being there. I mean, how do you beat that?
You can't.
And if you can build the person up in the industry that way, when that business grows, it is solid. You don't have people just bouncing in and out of it. Whereas on the digital side of it, you can get a lot of people in, and you can lose a lot of people just as quickly.
Sure. I mean, would you have a network of 100,000 people who have just come into the business, or 5,000 people who had actually sat down, gone through the training, had that strong connection, and you've built a strong foundation with them?
What is that girlie from Avon? Gail
Reynolds?
Gail Reynolds, okay. She's got a book out, and she talks about this. Now, she earned £6 million last year. £6 million out of Avon last year. It's just a leader. She's just a network marketer.
Yeah.
And her whole business was built organically and in person. And if you read her book, she talks about the importance of connecting with your people and creating that relationship with them, so that when they're going through hard times, they feel they can talk to you. And when they're going through good times, you're celebrating with them. And so that would be an excellent book. I recommend you get that book, Gail Reynolds. I don't know what it's called, but if you look her up, you're bound to find it on. Yeah.
We'll put it up on the post. Yeah.
Okay, we can put it up there.
Yeah. 100%. Okay. Well, that's brilliant, Richard. There was another comment that I wanted to make here, which is that, and it's obviously slipped my mind now that it's a live event. But there is no better way to form a relationship than our belly to belly.
Yeah, and the training as well. If I can do the training with you, where I show you how to do it, and then we role play it. Yeah, that is obviously much better training than just watching it on a video and hoping you got it.
For sure. I mean, even look at our relationship. When we started, if I had approached you and said, because you employed me through our business, And if I'd approached you through online, or I'd picked up the phone and say, hey, Richard, I'm looking for a job, the chances are very slim.
Would have been zero.
Yeah.
Absolutely zero.
It would be zero.
Yeah.
But I met you in a coffee shop. We had quite a unique first interaction.
Well, look, I mean, there was banter. So you sat down next to us. I was there with Heike.
Yes.
And we had instant banter.
Yeah.
I mean, I was joking with you because you were trying to get your plug to charge your laptop in underneath Heike's legs, and I was talking to you about don't fondle my wife's legs, and there was instant banter and there was a connection there.
Sure.
Okay. And then we bumped into each other at a completely different coffee shop, and we were able to continue the banter on. So we were connecting, and you were very open to that. And so after that, we then discussed you doing some marketing because you were working for a marketing company. So you see how that relationship started to develop.
Exactly.
And then I said to you, okay, well, look, we're looking for a marketing company, come and pitch on our business. And we spent time building up what we were going to do in the marketing concept. And just before I signed the contract, I said to you, here's the offer. I said to you, hey, if I sign this contract, is there any clauses in there that say I can't hire you?
Yeah.
And you said to me, yes, there's a clause that says I can't hire you. And then I said to you, well, then I'm not signing the contract.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of how that whole thing worked. But it was all an interpersonal relationship that we built up in a very short time.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like a couple of weeks, 2 or 3 weeks.
It was, yeah.
And I was at the position where I was thinking, man, I really want this guy in our business.
Yeah.
And so within a couple of weeks of just connecting with you and working with you and getting to know you, connection after connection after connection after connection.
Exactly.
You then took the plunge and came and joined us.
Yeah.
Which was amazing. And it's been amazing. You're now a partner in the company, and all sorts of good stuff are happening on that front.
Yeah. But
so,
again, what does it come down to?
That's it. And you could have got hold of me on WhatsApp or Google or wherever.
Yeah.
It would have been very difficult for you to connect with me because I don't even look at that stuff.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the message is very clear. The digital space works. It can work.
There's a place for it. Yeah.
There's definitely a place for it. But there is no better way to connect and form a relationship and a bond with people outside of you sitting across the table from me, touching, feeling. Okay, maybe not so much.
Let's leave the feeling to a minimum if you don't mind.
Okay. But a belly to belly interaction with one another. Yeah, There's no better way to connect with people.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, thank you for your time, Richard.
That's a pleasure.
This was awesome. Yep. Loved it. Okay. Guys, you out there, thank you so much for joining us. MLM for CEOs was made possible by our sponsors, NetReady. Please follow us on all our channels. We're on Facebook, LinkedIn, Spotify, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'll see you next time. Cheers. Bye.